Hi, this is Sri with the review of the Puma All Pro Nitro. This is supposedly the signature shoe for Scoot Henderson, who hasn't played a single NBA game. He did play in the G League, but I guess some would say solid. But if you were gonna excel or become a superstar in the NBA, I would expect you to score like 50 points in the G League, or at least that's what some experts would say. So this shoe, for a size 9.5, it weighs about 390 grams, slightly more than that. So it's pretty heavy for a low-cut shoe that looks pretty minimal. It's the midsole that seems to do most of the work in terms of heavy pressing, going against gravity and providing a lot of dead weight. This is the nitro foam. They call it the nitro SOD. So this is supposedly the little foam slab you see in most Puma shoes where they put nitro outside and it's just a tiny slab, and they try to show it's all around. The nitro foam is sort of like the hyperburst foam that you've seen in Skechers, but the Skechers hyperburst foam, I would say, is significantly more superior to this. Just like how Boost, they have BASF, the German chemical company, providing the same material to Puma and Adidas doing a bang-up job, while Puma struggling to make those Boost pellets work for them. Yeah, this nitro foam, even though it looks like it's covering all over the shoe, it's covering all the wrong areas. This is just for ornamental purposes only. In terms of cushioning, it's super freaking thin. On the heel, you can feel, yeah, a bit of a cushioning. Is fairly low to the ground, but on the forefoot, you feel like there's pretty much nothing. Remember the Kyrie 1, 2s, and 3s where you don't, okay, 2, 3, and 4, where you don't really feel much on the forefoot. That's kind of the shoe it is. Considering that it has this sort of expensive, signaturely, very exclusive type of foam, the Nitro SOD, it seems to cover more of the medial and lateral side of the shoe instead of the place where it should be in terms of shock absorption and comfort. So this does not feel more comfortable or feels like it's doing a better job of absorbing shock than, let's say, the MB01 and 02, which just had tiny little slabs of it in the heel and the forefoot. So I would say the original All Pro was a significantly superior shoe to these, and then All Pro will just use a little tiny puck of boost they call Energy and Puma on the heel, and on the forefoot it's just their proprietary EVA foam. They keep coming up with new names, but they're just relatively softer, and it feels like it's got more give and it's more comfortable than this supposedly nitro foam, nitro SOD, which is super thin and you don't really feel much on the forefoot. If you feel a certain level of comfort with the shoe, the plushness is there once you put the shoe straight out of the box, because the swivel board is super thick. The swivel board and the very thick Ortholite insole does 50% of the cushioning. Other than that, there's very minimal nitro foam doing any work there. I even feel skeptical that I even suspect that maybe there's a plate between the swivel board and the nitro. That's how hard it feels. The cushioning, not impressive. As Giorgio Sangpre would say, I'm not impressed by your performance. I can't get that right. One day I will. I'm not impressed by your performance. So yeah, the outsole pattern is very similar to the All Pro, except on the heel they try to have a bit of an photo negative diamond grid pattern, kind of similar to the ones you saw in Jordan 31, but not as dumb and inefficient as the Jordan 31 where it was slipping all over the place. Slightly better, but I would have rather preferred this zigzag blade pattern on the heel as well. It's not too bad. The shoe, the pattern, as you can tell, it's pretty grippy and nice, but it's not the most dust proof. On dusty courts, you'll have to constantly wipe, or you'll feel the dust getting its job done, getting trapped or providing, or rather subtracting the level of traction you should get with the shoe. The fit, I would say you can go true to size if you want a very form one-to-one fit, but for me, I went half the size up because I felt like this part is a bit pinching around the pinky toe area. And for those with really narrow fit, you can go true to size or down half a size if you wear really narrow shoes like the Kobe's or Luka's or Kyrie's. True to size, or tighter than that, definitely you can go down half a size with this one. The fit is wonderful. Other than that, the lockdown is great. The toe box area, there's no crazy wonky dead space. The lacing loop system comes all the way down almost to your toe area, so it laces up the shoe and locks it down very nicely. This is one of the few shoes where I had very, very impressive lockdown we've not seen in a while, because a lot of shoes they try to go trendy and just have the lace loop start from here or not really doing much there, and the upper is like they have some weird material that's starchy or not really forming to your feet. This is a nice combination of a sort of like a knit mesh and or engineered mesh and some leather and some fused material, and it's nice. It flexes nicely, and it provides some reinforcements where it's necessary. It's a nice blend. The tongue and overall, there's a nice padding. It's not crazy stuffy inside. It's pretty breathable. But the problem is the heel. It's a bit spacious for me. At least that's what I felt. No matter how much I laced it up, I felt a bit of a heel slippage. Not as bad as the LeBron 20, but yeah, it's still not the kind of lockdown you would expect from a low-cut basketball shoe, which doesn't give you much anything else other than a good fit and decent traction. The outrigger is very prominent, and the midsole is protruding out as well. It provides a very good ankle rollover prevention, so that's very nice there. Do not be fooled by the thick insole and the strobo board that provides this placebo effect of that you're getting some special cushioning there. The foam is all around the shoe, but very little of it on where it counts. So that's something you should consider. And it's freaking Scoot Henderson. What has he done in the league? What do you expect him to do? You never know. It's a big mystery box with a question mark there. And I guess it's a good investment if he's going to be a generational talent, but I highly doubt it. They got the 00, his jersey number, unless Damian Lillard leaves and he could have a single 0. It says ODD. He likes to say overly determined to dominate. That's a very not very impressive slogan. It's not catchy. And what he likes to be the odd one out, or he likes odd numbers, or like Don issue 1, Donovan Mitchell, determination over negative. The Don had, there's a purpose to it. It's Donovan Mitchell, Don. So odd, what is it? Odd Henderson? Is there a name in the middle where Scoot? I have no idea. It just doesn't work. First thing I see is like Odell Beckham Jr. That's the kind of stupid, guessing game that I would start when I see ODD. I would have never suspected that this is a Scoot Henderson signature unless I learned more about it. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty heavy because of this excessive nitro foam, which doesn't do much except provide, dead weight. Not a great shoe, and the price point is crazy expensive. It's almost expensive as it's more expensive than KD, slightly cheaper than LeBron's. And these days, you're getting these signature shoes of wonderful players like John Morant and Zion Williamson before he showed that he doesn't really like to come to work. And Luka, those shoes, even Jason Tatum, those shoes are a lot cheaper than this. So Puma, what were you thinking? All you have going on for you is LaMelo Ball, and even he is a question mark with injuries and with the team not really having a direction. So maybe you should think about not, coating the shoe with excessive material that might cost you or might make the shoe look more expensive and overcharge us.